Good. Oh, you good? All right. Some more nice.
Good afternoon, guys. I want to welcome you to our last SLDM of the summer. It stands for Sales Leadership and Development Meeting. If you don't know me, my name is Luke Baseco. I'm the Pilot Sales Manager. So that means I run this office, or I'm Mr. Gamboa's right-hand man, the right-hand man to our division manager. But the reason I'm here is because I want to introduce Mr. Gamboa to you guys. If you are from our office, it's kind of weird because this is the first time you're seeing him kind of in his division manager role. But Jeff's kind of a big deal. And people are coming from Fort Myers and all the way down from Miami to come to this event because it is the last one of the year. This is definitely one of my favorite events that he runs. Mr. Gamboa, this is one of his signature events. One of the things that he's really great at is running this event. Just to introduce you guys to Mr. Gamboa, if you don't know all about him, is first of all, when he first started, he was a rep in Baltimore. He went to the University of Maryland. He was a pre-med major. And his first summer on the job, he sold $76,000. He's the #1 college student in the entire nation. He went into his next year of college with over 23 grand in his pocket. So not only does he know a thing or two about how to do well your first summer on the job, but he knows just about everything you need to know on how to do well your first summer on the job. This is an event where he's going to be able to show you what he did that summer so that you guys can have similar results, whether you're working more part-time, you're working more full-time. That's our goal through this, is that we're able to teach you those things, okay? Mr. Gamboa, after that summer, he got accepted into our Leadership Academy. And at the Leadership Academy, you're going to hear a little more about that today as well. He went on to be an assistant manager in a high-powered office, and he decided to do what's called Cutco through college, which he built his resume through college using Cutco. And he went on to run a branch office. He was the #5 office in the entire East Coast that year, just as a college student running an office. Did the branch opportunity, which is a 4-month entrepreneurial internship, where he had the opportunity to run his own office as a college student. You open up after classes end. You close down right when classes start, so you do it all around school. It was fully independent. He was supported by the company, but ran an independent business on his own for himself. And he was #5 office in the region doing that. So using Cutco through college, he got 15 job interviews out of college, and some were for med school, some were for grad school, some were sales positions. Out of those 15 job interviews, only 3 asked his GPA, another 3 asked his major. Every single one of them asked about Cutco, and out of all those 15, he got all 15 job offers. You know, most people don't even get 15 interviews out of college. He got all 15 job offers using Cutco through college. So he's going to share with you today how he was able to do that as well. He went on to choose the next step with Cutco, which is to become a district manager, a new district manager, like Orlando. Similar to Orlando, he was the #1 new district manager in the entire company that summer. So he was actually one of the fastest promoted division managers in company history, and he took over the DC Metro division, where instead of just overseeing an office, took over an entire division overlooking DC, Washington D.C., as well as the Baltimore area, and it was a great track record of success where it was kind of like putting a really good coach on a really bad team. They weren't the best performing division at the time, and he brought them to be one of the top divisions in the nation, actually being one of very few offices that sell $1 million in the year at the time. So then, given his success, they moved him to a larger assignment in South Florida to take over our Florida Caribbean division, where he's been for a few years now. And same thing, it was kind of like putting a really good coach on a really bad team and having them perform at a high level afterwards. Given that track record of success, just recently this past spring, he was promoted to take over another division. So he's one of very few division managers who's actually running multiple divisions at this time. So now he oversees everything from our Tallahassee offices all the way down to our islands of Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. So since then, we have been, I'm kind of biased to say, but we've been the talk of the company. It wasn't not really the lowest performing division, but once again, we have a proven track record of success here. Just this week, this office was the #3 office in the nation. We have the #1 new district manager in the nation. We have the #1 branch manager in the nation. This week, I'd probably put our money on us being the #1 office in the nation as well. So just proven track records of success. And we're here not to train you guys to be average, but we're here to train you to be champions. And that's what this event is about. It's one of my favorite events because one of the first times that you really get to meet the other kids selling knives in other offices and see that it's bigger than just your local office. But if there's one thing I know about Mr. Gamboa, especially with this event, if you guys bring him a ton of energy, he's going to bring you a lot of energy. So I asked if you guys all have notes because I want you taking notes. In training, I said, I don't really care if you look at the notes, you're just taking them, and the act of learning that's going to make them stick. These notes, you're going to want to take them, and you're going to want to keep them because this is one of the best events that he runs. So if we could bring him up with a ton of energy, I'd like to welcome Mr. Jeff Gamboa.
They're biased. They're biased. You know when your dad gets up, it's like, oh, yeah, Dad. Right? Okay. Welcome, everybody. I'm so excited. This is the last sales leadership development meeting, and I do a lot of things for the company. This is the best thing. This is my favorite part of my job. Top 3 things that I do and I run. What exciting, what sharp, no pun intended whenever I say that, what sharp, well-dressed, or left my clothes in college, which is all good. That's all you have to tell me, by the way. I'm so excited to share some thoughts with you today. I want to say welcome to the Sales Leadership Development Meeting. And before we start, I want to make sure we start strong. And if you're going to come all the way from Metro Miami, I mean, anything where you're dealing with that traffic on 95 in South Florida, or if you're coming across Alligator Alley, we're going to make it worth your time today. And before we start, I want to make sure that we're 100% engaged, okay? And what that means is that if you're going to get from this meeting, I need you to give 100% all through the meeting, so you get 100%. Does that sound fair, everybody? Okay. Yes, can I get a yes on that? Yes? Okay, cool. So part of that, okay, when I work with so many students, this is my 20th year with the company. I've been here for 21 summers. Crazy. There's a video on Facebook that just posted 2 days ago. I don't post anything. I just kind of stalk. You know? So I don't post anything. But one of my reps, she is now a Hall of Fame member. She started with us when she was in college, probably 2002. You know, married, the whole thing, family, and she's still selling Cutco as a career. She posted. She said, "Jeff, 2009 team meeting." So this was before some of you even got into middle school. This was a team meeting, and it was the 4th of July, and I was dressed up in like my army gear. I had a bandana, red, white, and blue, you know, stars and stripes. I don't know where I got. Of course, I had a K-bar in my mouth, right? And I thought about, man, I've been doing this for such a long time. I've been working with tons of students, and when I find that people are 100%, I'd like you to write this down. And if you're from my office, you should memorize this. I'm going to say it every meeting. Number 1 is that if you're 100% engaged, and I learned this from a mentor of mine, you're going to look for best practices. And what I would imagine is that you're here because you want to hear about the best things to do with the presentation. Am I right? Yes?
Right. Yeah.
Right? Okay. So when you follow best practices, it gives you confidence. You don't have to think. And today, I want to give you a lot of the best practices from 1997 when I started selling Cutco. I want to give you the best practices of when I started, and I'll share some thoughts there. Number 2, the 100% engaged leaders are always looking to grow. They want to get better. They come to meetings like this. How many of you have been to a morning session at your office? 10K Alliance, Champions Club. I mean, this morning we had, I think, 30 people looking, all optional, by the way, all optional to get better. And some of you have attended those. I can see some of you from this morning. When you're hungry for growth, I can tell because you're taking a lot of notes, a lot of pen and paper. So I encourage you to just ferociously take notes. Cool thing, Luke and I were going through our Alliance meeting this morning. And he said, "Wait a minute." Did I ask them, "What are your favorite Alliance meetings to run?" He said, "Let me pull out my first Alliance meeting when I was an assistant." So he pulled out his notes from 3 summers ago. And he said, "Yeah, this one. He still has notes from 2000 and I think it was 14 when he started with the company. And he says he uses those things today. So make sure you take a lot of notes. And then number 3, have personal clarity. If I can clarify for what you can get from Cutco today, this, my friends, is probably the main reason you come here. I'm going to teach you how to sell more today. I'm going to teach you how to get more appointments, more recs. We're going to do a bunch of light bulbs where your brains are going to be splattered all over the wall because of all the information I'm going to blow your heads up with. And I promise you'll leave with value. But the main thing I can offer you is a chance to figure out what I can do with the company, how you can do Cutco through college, how we can help you get whatever you want from Cutco. And more importantly, when you graduate, you have the best possible resume. You get every job that you want when you finish with Cutco. And when you have personal clarity, hopefully and ideally what you get from today, you'll make better decisions. Okay, smart decisions that help you sell more, not sell less, decisions that help you be on point versus maybe not the best version of you. Okay, so today, to be 100%, I really need your help. When I ask questions to the group, I need verbal response. Can I get a yes on that? Yes?
Yes.
When I ask questions to the group, like even, hey, do you guys understand what I'm saying? I want a yes, not for me, but psychologically, I want you to retain the information. Can I get a yes on that one?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, and I'm going to ask you to role play today. We're going to practice certain things, certain techniques. So just give me a lot of energy, and I promise you'll retain the information. So SLDM, Sales Leadership Development. We have so many acronyms in our company. CPO, PDI, you've heard them all. So here's the next one, SLDM. And I want you to write down Sales Leadership Development Meeting. Sales Leadership Development Meeting. And there are 3 objectives for our Sales Leadership Development Meeting today. Number 1, I want to dramatically, and underline dramatically, increase your sales today. Several of you just started this past Saturday. I was just speaking to Dakota from our office. She just finished up a $9,000 fast start. She made almost $2,000 in her first 10 days. We have Chris, who just started with us on Saturday. He's at almost $7,000 in sales since Saturday. He'll probably do 15 to 20,000 this first 10 days. And then there are people here who I know your sales are under 1 or 2 or 3,000, and that's okay too. That's really exciting because regardless, we want to help you increase your sales. You see, my average order is not 300. Okay, my average order is closer to 1,000, and this is when the homemaker was only $683, by the way. So the homemaker was half the price, but my average order was 1,000. So I guess technically now it would be as if my average order, $1,500 to $2,000. Imagine that. So in nowadays terms, I always sold the signature complete when I sold, for the most part, on average. My closing ratio was closer to 90% plus, especially when someone has never seen the appointment, and almost 100 when someone has it. We know that. Why?
Because I love it.
Yeah, they already know the value of the product. And then my average recommendations are close to 20. So can I share you those tips today?
Yes.
Can I show you those tips? And it's going to help you to get what I want to show you, which is the second part here. I want to help educate you on future opportunities with Cutco. How can you use Cutco through college? How can you be here and make Cutco your thing for the next couple of summers, or maybe next 6, 9, 12 semesters, so that you're a better person, better college graduate, better applicant when you finish up. And then finally, this is the exciting Cutco part with the advancement, is I want to help identify our future leader. So this is a recruiting meeting for me. This is a meeting where now I get to put, if you're not from my office, I get to put the CPO to a face right now. I get to see Alex all the way coming, who went to Pace High School, but he's from the Metro Miami office, and also friends and went to school with, actually, you guys went to school together? Okay. I want to be able to put a name to the face also for my guys in the Fort Lauderdale office. I want you to see that there are other people who are also competitively looking to get these positions too. Who knows, 1 year from now, you guys could be an assistant manager. You could be running your own Cutco office like Luke did last summer at Boca Raton. Those of you that are Metro Miami, Andrew is 21 years old and he's running the #1 student office in the entire country. And this is his 3rd time doing it, by the way. So you have to remember, he's going into his sophomore year, he was already running a Cutco office, and you guys could be doing the same thing too. And who knows, maybe future opportunities. And here's what's really cool. You don't know this, and we don't know who yet, but in this room, 1 or 2 of you will be with Cutco past college, statistics say. And the cool thing is, you can just create really cool options. Raise your hand if you like options. Like the ability to choose, right? Versus, oh, well, I only have 2 or 3 things to pick from. So with that being said, I want to cover a couple things. Welcome to our United team. Right now, you're in the hottest division of vector marketing, one of the fastest growing teams, Metro Miami, Fort Myers, and Fort Lauderdale. Just ironically enough, I want to share the story about these 3 teams. So Metro Miami is the #1 college student internship office that's out of, I believe, over 300 to 400 offices nationally. There's no office that's selling more from a college student office, and in fact, it's not even close. It's as if we're taking a college Division I basketball player and they're playing middle school students. And not disrespectful, I mean, the performance is so beyond. So your team, by the way, is not even looking to be #1. That's just kind of an accepted deal. You guys are looking to break the all-time national record and do something that's never been done before. That's $700,000 in sales in the summer, and career offices don't do that. And Andrew and you guys have so we have the #1 branch office in the company. Our Florida United team also has a Fort Myers team, which is the #1 new district office in the whole company. So Orlando Bierstein just graduated from school at USF, and now he's running a full-time Cutco organization as a career. And in his first 3 months open, he's the #1 new district office in the whole company. So you see a tradition here. And then, of course, Fort Lauderdale, currently we're the #1 pilot and office in the entire Eastern region. And after today, I don't know what the standings are, but we'll be one of the top 2 to 3 offices in the entire country. So you see a lot of #1 tradition here. Okay. And what's cool is we just have a ton of fun doing it. And everyone knows us as the United team, or the emoji United team. And I'm really into emojis. So if you get a chance to connect with me via text, you'll see that I send a lot of emojis. I send a lot of hashtags that represent what we're excited about, and also because the cool kids are hashtagging apparently. So I'm learning how to be like the cool kids like you. Not quite as cool, but at least you can understand what I'm saying. I want you to write this down because I think, if anything, the reason that we have our teams operating at such a high level is because our mission, our goal is to provide an experience for you that is going to serve you for a long, long, long time. That's the M3PG experience, the most powerful, professional, and personal growth experience. The knives are outstanding. I dig the knives. I love the knives. You should dig and love the knives too. but that's just the means to the end. Our goal is for you to have the most powerful professional personal growth experience. So I'm going to use someone in my office. Let's say Dakota here, who's going to school here locally. Let's say Dakota decides to become, you have to remind me, you're not doing law enforcement like mom and dad, are you?
No.
You want to do?
I'm going into senior year.
Right, what do you want to do?
Foreign diplomat.
That's right, okay, I apologize. I remember from training we talked about that. So she wants to get into either politics/international relations. Okay, so what the heck does knives have to do with that? Well, the skills you learn from here, the resume and the confidence, and certainly the money you'll make so you pay for school, Dakota, that's going to help you. We want this to be the best college student experience you've had, whether it's the next 2, 3, or 4 years before you graduate. And that's our mission. So if you find your managers helping you out, how many of you have noticed your manager's ever taken any type of time to give you extra attention, extra training? The staffs are super, super supportive. It's because we ultimately want this. And this is my job as a division manager. My job is to create 5-star recruits. Now I want you to write down just 5-star. Let me explain what that means. A 5-star recruit in sports, and Chris, I keep talking to you because you play for a 5-star football team. What's a 5-star collegiate, a 5-star high school athlete? What does that mean?
They're the best of the best of their position.
They're the best of the best at their position. So Chris plays for St. Thomas Aquinas. It's one of the top football teams in the country every year. They have actually right now 18 to 20 on the active rosters in the NFL. It's the most in any high school currently. Next is out on the West Coast.
Bishop Warren.
No, California, old
Don
school.
Bosco. Oh, De La Salle.
De La Salle, yeah. De La Salle, then Don Bosco, then Mattered. I just looked it up, so I know this. You don't need to be an athlete here to do this. A 5-star recruit is when they graduate from high school, they were already being recruited to play sports when they were a sophomore, when they were a junior, because they're that good. I want to create and help you become a 5-star college graduate. That's what this meeting is about, by the way, not the selling stuff, although I'll help you. This is about how do you graduate so that when you're pre-med, when you go into maybe apply to foreign schools, okay? Maybe you want to be a doctor or a lawyer. When you graduate, everyone in your major wants to recruit you because of the skills, the resume, and the experience you have with our company. I want you to be able to give me a call a couple of months, years from now, and you say, hey, Jeff, you know that foreign diplomat position that opened up? Yeah, there's only one in the whole country that got it. Yeah, I got it. And they asked me about my Cutco experience. Or, hey, Jeff, you remember I was telling you about med school and how excited I was? Well, yep, they were all asking about my branch experience, and I was telling them how I used the Cutco branch to learn how to run a practice. So that's why I want to be a doctor, and they took me. These are the things we're really excited about. We want to help you become a 5-star recruit. So with that being said, welcome to our Florida United team. We operate a certain way too. We have 4 anchors. These are the way, this is defining the way that we operate. So for example, true professionalism. You can count on respect, you can count on professionalism, you can count on great support from every office, whether it's Orlando, whether it's Andrew and staff, or here in Fort Lauderdale. And our reps carry themselves that way. Anchor number 2 is explosive team building. We love to recruit and raise teams from within. How many of you have recommended friends to the job before, or you're here because of a recommendation? Yeah, so ready? If we didn't have anyone recommended to the job, we would have 2 people in this meeting. Think about that for a second. So part of what we're so good at, what we love to do, is help build the team. And those of you that are part of Fort Lauderdale this morning, thank you for that triple threat. We're already seeing some results from that. Number 3, high standards of sales performance. When it's time to sell, whether it's push weeks or big contest periods, we are a performance-based organization. And then number 4, aggressive pursuit of growth. This is my favorite. Aggressive pursuit of growth, anchor number 4. Our students love to get better. They love to become the best version of themselves. They love personal growth. And that's something I can't even stress enough of how important that is and what we're known for here at the U. And I'll make sure to post these up at some point. You'll probably get a hashtag from me at some point. So I fly often to Puerto Rico because I also am in charge of the Caribbean offices. So this past weekend I was in Puerto Rico. Sometimes I'll get to the U.S. Virgin Islands. And I'm a Southwest guy, but once in a while I'll fly JetBlue. And they had this amazing poster, this ad that I saw maybe 4 years ago. It says, our standards beat their extras. And I really feel like that's how, in a respectful, very humble fashion, that's how the U operates. That's how the United team operates. We have a standard that's higher than most, respectfully. And I think that's the team you should want to play for, am I right? You should always want to play for the better team, okay? The national sales report, in just a few moments, I would say within the next 2 to 3 hours, the national sales report is going to come out, and you're going to see the U, Florida United, all over. You're going to see our office here in Fort Lauderdale. You'll see reps from the U. And I just want to tell you that this meeting is a big catalyst for the 18 of you here. Okay? I can't even tell you how much buzz there is right now about this meeting today, because everyone in Florida United knows this is the last one of the summer and probably not another one until the end of September. And this is going to impact you dramatically. In fact, I want to show you an old school picture. This is 2002. This is Patience Ellett from Naples, Florida. So Patience came to the meeting. She was only at, she was low. She was at $3,000 in sales, maybe $4,000. And so she said, Jeff, I'm in my fast start. I really want to work hard. And I'm really here to learn from you. And I said, okay, are you committed? Are you willing to put it out there? Are you willing to take a picture that says you're going to do $10,000 for this push week? She said, yeah. I said, okay, you're going to throw it out there. So she took a picture. We sent it to everyone in the division. And she didn't do 10,000. She did 14 right after. Okay. This is another group. This was a year later. Okay. This is, we had several Fort Myers, Luis Lucia from Miami, Palm Beach, and then we had Fort Myers over here. And we did the same exact thing. I said, who's going to put their money where their mouth is, or who's going to put their hands up and show that they're committed to this goal? And it's funny, every single person in this picture. Okay, maybe we'll do it later. I don't do it every meeting. My point is, I really want you to get a lot from this meeting, not because of what's happened up to this point, but more so for what happens when, everybody.
In the future.
Yeah, right, or tonight, or tomorrow, or right afterwards, okay? Today is about creating light bulbs for you. So when I give you a tip today that gets you excited, when I say something that just, you know, you see a movie where the clouds open up and the sun shoots through and you go, oh, and you hear the, oh, you get it? When you have that light bulb moment, I don't just want you to show me in your eyes. I want you to let me hear it. I want you to go like this, because at the U, we always do that in meetings where we go psh, when something hits you, right? So let's practice that. Let's say I give you a really hot tip, and it's the tip you needed to increase your average order. Ready? And here's the tip. Now, what do you do? Yeah, ready? 1 + 1 = 2. Oh my God. Okay. And it's not rude to do it while I'm speaking. In fact, it gets me pumped. When I hear you give me a light bulb, that means, oh, I'm getting through to you, I'm helping you, so let me hear it. Got it? Ready? So don't handle the knives and grab it from the blade. You'll lose your hand. Louis, don't grab the blade.
Don't grab the blade.
There you go. Okay. So what I want to do, there's my sarcasm. I want to talk about future vector opportunities to start this meeting. This meeting has 3 parts. First part is I want to show you everything that's available for you and how you can utilize Cutco as a vehicle for your success through college and maybe beyond. I even want to show you career opportunities just so you know what the options are. I'm going to pass this around. Then number 2, I'm going to teach you how to sell a lot and then get more recommendations so you can earn these positions. You guys see that? So I'm going to give this to you. And I would go ahead and put your name at the top. So this is for you. This is for you to see, okay, these are the positions available. Okay. I have a gift for you. This is for your blue books. Okay. This is a pamphlet for Leadership Academy. I'm going to give this out in just a second. Okay. And who do you think I want you to share that one with?
Customers.
Yeah, share with your customers. So first thing I want to talk about today, okay, when we talk about opportunities, is the Leadership Academy. So we'll keep taking notes here. Our Leadership Academy is not a physical school. It's a program designed to help students during the school year develop skills to be what we call the best version of themselves. Okay. Leadership Academy is a program designed, regardless of what major you are, to help you become more marketable, to become more confident, to have more skills, and so that ultimately you become a 5-star recruiter. You see, a 5-star recruiter is someone who knows, okay, I can do this thing through college, and when I graduate, I'm going to get the best jobs in my major, and I'm also going to have opportunities with the company because I'm that good of a recruit. Because if you're a 5-star recruit for your med schools, if you're a 5-star recruit for the MBA programs, who also wants to recruit you to stay with the company? We do, right? We do. That's what they did to me. I got into 3 business schools, 3 grad schools, 3 med schools, and I'm here. I'm here. So I want to go through the steps of the vector opportunity. I want to go through that sheet that you have right now. You can take notes directly on it. And I want to show you what's available so that you can earn some of these spots. Number 1, I want to talk about just being here. I'm the decision maker when it comes to who gets into Leadership Academy. Leadership Academy is what helps people get to become a 5-star recruit and get those skills. So without being here, you can't earn a position at all. I need to know who you are. So props to you. Your manager also knows that even if you're selling a lot, it's based on attitude. So that means you also have a really great attitude. You're coachable, you're hardworking, and frankly, we like you. So that's why you're here. So tell your manager thank you for that. You can tell Luke when you leave from our office. Second thing is key staff. So the key staff, they represent the best people in our office. The key staff are team captains. Key staff would be the starting lineup. These are the people that sell the most, they're the most consistent, and they're the first in line when it comes to getting interviews for opportunities later and who progress into Leadership Academy. So if you want to get on the key staff, it's actually really easy to get in. It's hard to stay on it. So key staff, you have to be at least 2 promotions because at that point, we know you know at least a few basics of the job. And then you have to have a positive attitude. So even if someone is selling, I don't know, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a day, 5 days a week, and they're always #1 in the company, if they don't have a positive attitude, then that's not someone we'd want on key staff because we want someone who's going to be a great leader for other people. And then, of course, you have to make sure you ask. That's really important. So if you're interested in key staff, make sure you ask the manager and say, hey, Andrew, hey, Orlando, and of course, Luke, I want to know how I can get on key staff because our managers won't ask you on purpose. They want to know who's hungry, who wants to go for it. So I'd like you to write down on the sheet next to it, write down next 10 days. Write down next 10 days. Because I think anyone here could be on key staff within 10 days. In fact, we're never opposed to promoting someone within 2 or 3 weeks if they're showing the right habits. Number 2, dirty 30 and beyond. I think this is so important for your finances. I really want you to get to dirty 30. Now, if you're in your first 10 days, I think the goal, Chris here's, what are you at now, 9? Yeah, almost. By today. Okay, so by the end of today, he'll be at 9,000 with another 7 days to go. So some of you will get it that fast. Some of you are not quite there. Some of you fell just short, but you'll get it tonight, Dakota, right, at 9,000. But here's what I want to say. Worst case scenario, if you mess up, I want you to hit dirty 30 by the time school starts in a month and a half. Or 2 months for some of you. Here's why. Because I want you to be able to work part-time but earn full-time. And here up on the television, these are the promotion levels once you hit the dirty 30. But the career sales, once they go higher, give you an opportunity to earn what's called bonus levels. So dirty 30 is game-changing money for anyone, I would say, under 22 to 25 years old. Okay, yeah, you can take a picture. Go for it. You want me to be in it?
If you want.
What do you want? What kind of clothes?
That's perfect. Very good job.
Okay,
Look,
thanks.
look, girls on the left.
Ready? 50 to 150.
America's Next Top Model over there.
Barely. Okay. 50 to 150. Okay. That'll get you up to 50% on commission. That's life-changing money. That's different. I have students, like for example, Luke is able, after one summer, every summer, to write a check and pay his entire tuition, pay his fraternity dues, and be expense-free for the college. I have some students that will work the whole summer so they don't have to do anything for 8 months. And I think that's a pretty sweet gig, by the way. If you're a high school senior, I think that's really cool too. High school senior or going into your first year of college. Some of you have never experienced money at the dirty 30 level, let alone something like this. So I'd like you to write down this summer. I think that's a really important and exciting thing to be thinking about. And you guys know this from my office, but if you're working at dirty 30, you can work part-time but earn what? Full-time. You can earn full-time. I want to share an example that if you're from my office, you've seen this 10 times. This is what Luke does at school. He does 5 appointments. Some of them are virtual because most of his recs are down here. Some of them are live. Some of you will start to build a recommendation base at school. Okay. He'll usually make 3 or 4 sales for sure. But now he's a lot more experienced. So he'll make 4 sales because he's not new. And his average order is closer to $400 to $500. So he's selling about, we'll call it $2,000 every week. And he only did 5 hours worth of work. So he can do that on Thursday night for 2 or 3 appointments. And then 1 or 2 on Friday, on Saturday. And of course, if it's a big college football game day, because you don't do anything on college football game day in Gainesville, Florida, you watch football. That's what he does. Doesn't do any appointments. He might do one on Sunday, but like later in the afternoon because he was having so much fun on Saturday. It's 5 appointments. He's at dirty 30. Okay. So that's how much he's making on 5 hours worth of work. So can you see? Do you think Luke thinks that was worth his time to get to 30-30? Of course. What do you think? Yeah? Okay. He's at 50% now. So he's making that. Okay. So I know, even if you're only at dirty 30 by the school year, I know we have UF, FSU, we have local schools. Anyone out of Florida school? Okay, so everyone's local. Oh, that's right. We got to go all the way up. to Yukon. Ooh, I'll come visit, but not in December. Okay. I mean, I know this could be game-changing money for many of you. So work hard to get to Dirty 30 as soon as possible. In fact, right now I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Write down what date. When's your Dirty 30 birthday? When are you going to hit Dirty 30? Some of you, it's within a couple hours here. By what week? Okay. When do you plan on hitting it? If you're on the Alliance, you should hit it within the push. When do you plan on hitting Dirty 30? And what I'd like you to write down on your sheet, okay, at the bottom, is make sure you hit it by this summer. That's my favorite. That's my favorite going into the summer. And then when you go to your semester, whether you're local or non-local, I want you to text me that first week when this happens. I want you to text me, Chris, when you go, oh my gosh, Jeff, this is my first week on the part-time pay, full-time, part-time work, full-time pay. I did 4 appointments. I sold $2,000. I made $600. Right? Dollar sign, dollar sign, dollar sign. Knife, 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 knife. Skull, 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 skull. Right? I'm killing it. Right? Someone texted me that the other day. I said, why skulls? Because I'm killing it now. I'm learning, okay? Next thing, assistant manager. We have multiple assistant manager positions available. Okay. We have multiple assistant manager positions available. And assistant managers, number one, are learning how to create management experience. They're getting their foot in the door in advancement, and they're the first selections of people that we put as a paid assistant manager, because we have interns first who don't get paid. They come in for 1 to 2 hours a week. And then we have paid assistants who will make money off of the success of the office on top of their personal sales. So one of the cool things about that is that we take all those assistant managers' pay from the office and we put it directly into savings account. So they'll learn how to save money already, 17, 18, 19. We force them to save it, okay? So we already promoted about 40 people in the last 2 conferences, but we're gonna be promoting another 2 to 3 per office in July when we go to Atlanta for the conference. So for those of you that are interested in an assistant intern position, be consistent in your office from now until then, and ask Andrew, ask Orlando, and ask Luke about being interested. And also, if you're a local student, I know, at least I'll speak on my office behalf, Kirsten and Grant and Kayla and all that, they're all going to school away. Kayla's local, but she's working for the Red Cross. So I have 3 to 5 paid assistant manager positions available in my office, and another 3 to 5 intern positions available. I know Metro Miami's got some positions, and I know Orlando for sure. So if you're interested, work hard to get this position, okay? Because it'll feed into a potential paid position for the school year. So think about that if you're interested in getting management with us. Next thing, branch manager. This is the flagship opportunity of Cutco. Okay. This is why, yes,
Can I have another?
you can have another pen, of course. I think one they're working. If not, I'll get you another one. If not, you can also go back to the office. Branch manager. This is our 4-month entrepreneurial internship where a young student between 18 and 23 years old can run their own Cutco office for 4 months. Okay? I'll put this down as Cutco's premier opportunity. For all of my 5-star recruits who graduate college and get the jobs that they want, they all have branch on their resume. They put that at 19 or 20 years old, I moved to blank area in Florida, or I moved to Puerto Rico to learn Spanish, and I opened up a business from scratch. And I negotiated a lease, I implemented a business plan, I networked in the community, I hired, trained, and developed a receptionist team, I hired, recruited, and trained a sales rep team, I developed managers for the company, and some people like Andrew Evans back there and from Metro Miami will do it a 2nd summer in a row so they can show companies that they know how to get better with the company. And then some people like Andrew will do it 3 times in a row because they just want to make their resume, performance-based and interesting. It's elite resume experience, and it's what sets our people apart. I know for a fact that everyone that has branch manager on their resume, it's always a talking piece. It's always a conversation piece in every interview they have for their career. Because knives alone are already a little bit unique. Wouldn't you agree? Okay, and it's not just selling knives, but that alone is a conversation piece. But when you talk about building an office from scratch, the acronym we use is, interviewer, or let's say Rachel's the med school interviewer. Yeah, I took the leap with our company. What that means Taking the leap to branch means I use the entrepreneurial internship to create leadership experience for myself, guiding and leading a team. I think of the Metro Miami team where Andrew's there every Wednesday night running a meeting for 40, 50, actually I know closer to 50, 60 people, and encouraging young people and motivating young people and instructing young people. If you're interested in experience for your resume, again, standing apart. That's the E. The A stands for adventure. Our students love that they get to move out of the house for a summer and learn how to be independent, like, a real adult. Ever heard of those? And pay their own bills and get out of mom and dad's house and learn how to be independent for a summer. Some of our students will move and do what we call branch abroad, where they learn Spanish and move to Puerto Rico to run a business because maybe they have an international business background that they want to get under their belt. We have some students that want to move to different parts of Florida. Charles Stewart actually went to Chaminade Madonna, who's a starting point guard for Chaminade Madonna basketball team. Started selling Cutco with us, got into Leadership Academy, ran a branch office in Sumter, South Carolina, because he wanted to move away from Florida and learn what it's like to open up a business in a different state. So if that's something you might be interested in, adventure. And then of course, personal growth. Personal growth, learning how to work with people and developing yourself. So I'll put down for branch manager, I would write down next summer, because we have students that are starting this summer that will get into Leadership Academy, they'll train at a high level, and they'll get accepted. The acceptance has happened in January. They'll get accepted to run a branch office by next summer. Francisco Duran is 18 years old when he started, just graduated high school, went through Leadership Academy for 1 year, and now he's actually the number 12 branch manager of the whole company, and he just started last summer. He's running Ponce, Puerto Rico. He's originally from San Juan. So it's pretty cool to see that young man, 18 years old when he started. Okay. I'll give you a cool story. This is Luke. So last year, this is Luke's office. Luke started before he was a senior in high school, then became my assistant manager, and last year he ran the Boca Raton office. So you see all those reps? Those are people he interviewed and he trained and he developed. And this is Luke and I taking a picture outside his office, and how cool is that? At 20 years old, had his name on the office door in this super professional building in Boca Raton. If you know anyone in Boca, they're super professional, a little bit higher class. And here's this 20-year-old college student running his Cutco knife office. And this is us planning and celebrating over his favorite beverages. Okay. And there's Luke there. Luke looks a little younger there. Okay. And so someone posted this on Facebook. I love this. They were talking about being a branch manager. They said, what's better, working for 30, 40, 50 years to make six figures at some point, or to do things now, aka run a branch office for 90 days to a year, gain a skill that will help you be more marketable and make more money in the future? I think that's what the number one reason why people want to earn a branch manager spot. So if you're interested, here's what I'll say. Make sure you let the management know. Let them know, hey, I don't know how I can get there, but I'd love to run a branch office. You're not too new. You're not too young to do it. If you work really hard, the top 15 to 20% of our organization in Florida will get into Leadership Academy and earn a spot for branch manager, even though they're just new this summer. Okay. Next position is Luke's job. Not that Luke's job is on the line, but I think it's important to know what he does. Luke is the #1 candidate in the entire Florida United team. He's the #1 trained. He's getting next level training. In fact, this year he's committing to doing it for a second summer. So if you think it's really fun and high powered right now, wait till next summer. Not to mention he's looking to replace his staff, because everyone on staff right now in Fort Lauderdale, Grant and Kirsten and David, they're all going to be running their own office next summer. So the best of the best are going to be some people in line for that. And Luke knows this, but when he graduates from college, we're already recruiting Luke now. And he's not even graduating for another 2 summers. And this past February, the president of the company flew him up, and we had a whole day in Philly, because we're really, and if you're in sports, you understand this. We're recruiting him early, and I know he wants a position in finance or in wholesale marketing and following his dad's footsteps, but we're definitely going to be recruiting Luke because of his resume, because of his experience. And he's an example of a 5-star recruit now into his sophomore and junior year. I'll put a question mark because you never know. In fact, ask Luke when you get a chance, when it's downtime, ask Luke, hey, Luke, were you always gung-ho Cutco? And he used to come to these meetings and say, Jeff, I'm just doing this to pay my car off. Now, if he paid his car off, Jeff, I'm just doing this for one more summer to make
as opposed to a Ferrari.
Okay. Ready to roll? Notebooks and pens?
Is it first we put? Should we put this one?
Oh yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you in a second. So here's what I would do. Okay. I would have your fast start sheet first. Who's still in their fast start? Okay, I would have the fast start sheet first. It doesn't have to be in red. Ours is just in red. Okay. I would have the President's Club letter second. I would have the All-American Scholarship number 3. I would have the sponsorship number 4. Then I would do Leadership Academy. Okay. And then if you don't have any of these, let me know and I can give you some of these. And during the next break, you can feel free to go through the blue book to get yours in order. Okay. So now, the whole goal is to help you to sell more. Let me cover this for them. I also want to help you get more friends onto the team real quick. So how many of you are already familiar with triple threat? Some of you did this morning already. How many of you are familiar with the term triple threat? Okay. If you're not, during the next break, I would take a picture of this and post it on your 3 social media platforms for Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram. And this will help you get more friends onto the team. Another one that you might want to post are big paychecks if you feel like that's going to help motivate some friends. And then another paycheck here. We have multiple pictures. So you let me know which paycheck picture do you want to post, or okay, and I'll do that during the next break. There you go. Right, and then you post it like this. My work has openings, $15. Hit me up for details. Okay, who's already done this before? You experience it. What happens? You don't have to do anything. The friends just come in. Okay. So let me cover reality 101 for a second. Number 1, if you didn't do Cutco but you still wanted to work, you'd probably end up working this job. True or true?
Very true.
Very true. Okay. And you probably wouldn't get 40 full hours. You'd probably get closer to 30 if you want it full time. And that takes you to 190. You don't even have to write this down. I just want this to process and make you sick for a little bit. The whole goal is to make you sick for a second. Then you're working really hard there, and they'll promote you real fast, like here, right? They'll promote you within a weekend. No. How long does it take to get a promotion in an hourly job? Here, advance would be 6 months. Would you agree? Mm-hmm. And they bump you up $2-3.
No.
Right.
Maybe like 50 cents.
Maybe 50 cents. Yeah, here you go. So in 6 months, you're making 50 cents more. So your paycheck jumped a whole $15. Yeah, you're killing it. And then a year later, you are senior, and you're making a whole $1 more. Insert sarcasm, but also insert truth. Am I right? Okay. So your 1-year growth opportunity is $30 more. I don't know that I would call that exciting, but I also know for sure that that's what you guys deal with, because I did it in college. This is what I did in high school and in my first year of college. And then let's say you're absolutely killing it with the company. You're showing tenure for 2 years at that landscaping company or retail or McDonald's, whatever it might be. You don't make $9 at McDonald's, right? Maybe you do. Your 2-year growth opportunity is $60. So please tell me you see that, and please tell me that you have a nauseous feeling, because this is why it's worth it to work hard with the company, okay? Versus even when you're brand new, if you just started and you haven't sold $3,000 or more yet, right now, technically when you have friends that say, oh, well, I'm making more money than you, that's true, because you have to get to about 3,000 to 6,000 before you really start to see the promotions add up. And by the time you get to 6,000, you will have made $1,000 in income. You know, I'll use Dakota as an example. Okay, so Dakota just started 2 Saturdays ago. She's at $9 grand in sales. She'll be at 30 tonight. She's made about $1,800 since last Saturday. How's that feel? Have you had a job before this?
No.
Cool. This is your first job. Me too, by the way. Chris, did you have a job before this?
I've cut lawns and cleaned boats.
I did the same. I cut grass. How much were you making there?
$100 each time, but it was only once a month.
Okay, so he's making $100 a month, and then how year round?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's making $1,200 a year. What do you got in sales right now?
Almost 6.
You've made 1,000 in 3 days. Process that. He's used to making $1,200 in a year cutting grass. That's about a normal high school job that I had. You've made close to that in 2.5, 3 days. Okay, that's within 1 week. So my point is, don't quit. My point is keep at it. My point is, pay attention right now, because we're going to cover some skills. So new sheet of paper. I want you to write down at the top, advanced recommendations. Advanced recommendations. So why are recommendations so important?
Keep your job.
Yeah, keep your job running, keep your business rolling. So let me give you an example here. So first question I want you to write down, this is a question to yourself, is how badly do I want them? And I want you to write that full sentence out for me. When it comes to recommendations, how badly do I want them? Right. What I mean by that is, how hard and how much attention and focus do you give to getting recommendations? We say it's really important. We recognize that it's important, but sometimes we don't. Do you want it more than you want the sale? And sometimes that's not the case. For example, if I told you I'd give you 10 really good recommendations from a customer, right, a sponsor, or a $300 order, what should you get? You want the sponsor, right? What if I told you it's a homemaker or sponsor? What should you get?
Sponsor.
You say that, but do you really believe that? Because some of you are going, sponsor, I don't know. Kind of want that sale. Okay, what if I told you a signature complete or a double sponsor?
Sponsor.
All right, what if I told you one sponsor? I mean, I could play the game all day. The reality is, what should you get? You should get both, by the way. You should get a set, one of the 3 sets or higher, and you should get at least 10 or 20 recommendations. But if you don't genuinely believe that, you certainly don't do the right things for that. Okay, so right now, I want you to put a scale of 1 to 10 under that question. Scale of 1 to 10, how much do you genuinely believe that now? I'm not going to look at this. This is for you. Write down the 1 to 10 is, Jeff, I will always take great recs over a sale, but genuinely. 1 is, I always take the sale. I don't care about recs, and that's how I believe, what I believe right now, which is not good, but be honest with yourself. Okay, if it's anything less than an 8, you got to fix that. Should be a 10, and here's why. I want to talk about the dollar amount. Okay. Depending on how new you are, if you're brand new, it's $15. If you're experienced and you're making 50% half baby on commission, FSM we call that, then you're making about $50 for every name that you get on a presentation. So what if I told you that, let's say Kelly does a presentation, let's say every name that Kelly got, she would get, you would bring the recommendation sheet to your office, and there's like an ATM machine. You put it into the ATM machine, and every time you get one, it spits out 20 bucks. So for every sponsor, you get $200 cash. Wouldn't you work harder to get recommendations? Yes or what? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd work really hard. Wouldn't you fight a little bit harder to get 1 or 2 more? And that's what I want you to understand here today. Recommendations are the key. So what I want to do before we go in is I want you to write this down. Do I expect them? Okay. Do I expect them? For example, right? Erica, hold this 1 second, please. And I have your pen. Okay. And then Kelly, hold this pen. No, I want your notebook, please. Thank you. And then hold this real quick. Rachel, stand up 1 second. And then and I need your pen, please. And then, ready? Can you catch? Hold this item. Okay, thanks. What the heck just happened? Right? You just took my pen because I threw it at you, right? You just gave me your pen and stood up, have a seat. You just took this notebook. Why?
Because you told to.
Yeah. And you gave me your notebook. Why?
Because you gave me the pen.
Why'd you take the pen?
Because you offered.
Yeah, why'd you give me your pen?
Trade it.
Yeah. Was I high pressure?
No.
Was I rude?
No.
Did you feel uncomfortable?
No.
Did I ask confidently?
Yes.
Was I really asking? Kelly, hold this 1 second, please. Thank you. Do you think you could maybe hold this? You don't have to. What if I did that? Okay, Erica, can you hold? You don't have to, but could you maybe possibly hold? No, okay, never mind. That's called weak. We call that weak asking. How do you ask for time? Say it again. Hey, what time is it? Not, hey, what time is it maybe? How do you ask for the time? One more time. Hey, what time is it? Or if you want to be super uber respectful. Excuse me, what time is it? Excuse me, Rachel, do you have the time, please? Thanks. Mrs. Jones, here you go. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your help. Mrs. Jones, I get paid every time I show cut code. I can only call people I've been personally recommended to. So, Mrs. Jones, what I need you to do while I'm cleaning up is just to write down, 200 to 300 people would be nice enough to help me out. I'm just kidding. 20 to 30 is perfect. I'm not looking for people who would buy, just nice enough like you to take a quick look. Take a look. Here's how it works. Here's the sheet. Here's the sponsors. So, Ms. Erica, thank you so much. I appreciate your help. Excuse me, what time is it? See the difference in the voice inflection? So I want you to rate yourself right now. How confident do you ask? 10 is super confident. 1 is, so do you think maybe? And I know for a fact in this room, there are people who, when you ask for recommendations, the customer said, oh, no, Chiavelli, we don't do it. And you go, oh, okay, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it? Do you think you could get the time? Don't worry about the time. It's okay. You keep the time. Wait, what? Does that sound silly? It's just as silly as when you say, don't worry about it with recommendations. If that number is less than 8, we got to work on it. And the number one thing I want you to write down is memorize page 16. Memorize page 16. Because the more you process page 16, the less you have to do what when you ask for recommendations?
Look at your manual.
Look at your manual. And they always say it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So there's confidence, but actions speak what? Louder than words. So what does eye contact show? When you have strong eye contact, does that show low or high confidence? Yeah, when you can't look someone in the eye, what does that say? Weak or hiding something. Deceitful, shady. But this is true. This is body language 101, right? If I can't, yeah, Rich, I'm telling you the truth. You ever see a kid try to lie? You like to babysit. You ever see little kids try to lie? Did you eat the cookie? No, you little liar. You know they're lying. Eye contact. So this first section is I just need you to have confidence. There are some people where, especially in South Florida, have so many accents and great different cultures and ethnicities where their English is actually not even that good. Their language that comes out of their mouth is not good, but the voice inflection is so strong and the confidence is so high they get 10 to 20 recs, no problem. So that has nothing to do with it because words are very, very low on the totem pole, very low on the totem pole. So number 2, I want you to write down, I should expect them. Okay. I should expect them. Here's why. Okay. You will get a lot of recommendations, minimum 10 to 20, as long as customers like and enjoy 2 things. First of all, what do they have to really enjoy to give you? Like, what do they have to really enjoy?
Your demo.
Your demo, right? The product. Okay, I'm going to give you some light bulbs here, hopefully. Not hopefully. I'll give you some light bulbs here. Number 2, who do they have to like? You. If they like the product but don't like you, that means they don't enjoy the presentation, they didn't feel comfortable, so they're not going to recommend you to a lot of people, if anyone. If they really loved you, really enjoyed your company, but your presentation didn't get them excited about the product, they're also not going to recommend you to a lot of people. You've got to get both here. Okay, so let's talk about that. I want to give you some thoughts on how to help them really love the product, and then I know this sounds kind of weird, but I'm going to help them like you today. Let's talk about the product for a second. If you want them to really enjoy the product to the point where they absolutely want to, assuming they like you, want to give you 10, 20 and recommend it to all their friends, what do you need to make sure happens on the presentation? What needs to happen for them to really love the product? Okay, so ideally make a sale, but what else? Build value. Okay, you guys know this in training. People don't buy Cutco, they buy 2 things. They buy your enthusiasm and your belief. You guys know that? Okay, but do you really show that? So ready? You have to give a professional presentation. Some of you want a professional sale. Professional sale is an investment from a customer. An investment of a customer is over how much money?
$1,000.
$1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. People don't buy a laptop, they invest in a laptop. People don't buy a car, they invest in a car. People don't buy a house, they invest in a house. You know that. So you want a professional sale, but the presentation is not professional. Here's why. Okay? When you show the Cutco product, if you want them to really buy into the product, you have to be a great salesperson and do a great presentation. So let me throw out a couple of random thoughts and questions that will help you think about, man, am I really giving an A+ professional presentation? Number 1, do you know that there's a website, this is sarcasm, called Cutco.com? And yet you are a professional selling this product and you've never visited the website to see how you explain all the products, but really explain the products. Give me a light bulb if that's you. You're thinking, oh my gosh. Okay? Or how about this? You're doing a presentation. You want to sell a Homemaker Signature Complete. But right now, you couldn't even explain exactly what the other 3 tools are on the Signature. Better yet, you don't even know the difference between a Homemaker and Signature. Some of you know this, some of you don't, but some of you kind of know this. That's why you're kind of selling. What's the Homemaker for? For people who what? Have to cook. What does have to cook mean? It means you have what?
Kids.
You have kids. Okay, what's the Signature for? People who like to cook. What does like to cook mean? You have to cook, but once a month, what do you do?
Yeah,
Barbecue.
barbecue.
You throw a party or barbecue. How many more tools are in the homemaker versus signature? Or
3.
signature? Yeah, there's 3 more. What are they called?
Party slicer, the cheese knife, and
Sentoku, yeah.
What's the Santoku for?
for your dicing and
Dicing, yeah.
precision.
What's Santoku mean?
3-in-1.
Okay, what's the cheese knife for? Not just cheese. Actually, not tomatoes at all.
Potatoes, vegetables, fruits
Right?
that stick
Ready?
to the knife.
The point. You see the point? Right? If I'm going to sell one of the 3 sets, I don't even know the difference between the 3. Ready? Let me not even go here. The completes for people who absolutely what?
Love.
Or only want to buy the absolute
Best.
best. But do you really know that you have the homemaker plus all the meat and then all the veggie knives? But could you even explain the meat and veggie knives? Could you explain, do you know that there's 2 slicers? There's a regular slicer for what? Bread. So why in the world would you need a petite slicer? Some of you don't know that, but then you're trying to sell a complete. How do you sell a complete if you don't know that? Just so you know, this is for the kitchen, and this is the shorter blade so you can have them cut at the table. It's not as dangerous. Any light bulbs? Yeah, you didn't know that. So how are you really going to sell this? Not that I showed it to my mom, she loves me, was going to get a homemaker, but we got her deal, she got the complete. That's different. I'm talking about really selling the complete set. You have to know your product. So I would think about Cutco.com. I would think about, how about you just open the damn brochure and read these things? Raise your hand if you haven't done that yet. And that's okay. This is not a call-out meeting. This is let me help you get. Raise your hand if you haven't even looked through the bottom to understand what the names and uses are. Right? Or you go through your training manual and it has all the names and uses of all the products, or you haven't gone to Cutco.com. It's hard to explain that. Okay? Really important that we do a great presentation. Also, enthusiasm and fun. And I know if you're in my office, you're going to hate this. You always hear this. You got to cut the food. Right? I want you to write now, this is for you, not for me. What percentage? Write a percentage down and write down next to it, times I have food. Percentage times I have food. And if it's less than 100%, what is going on? So you mean to tell me you're going to sell a kitchen cutlery product where it's knives to prepare their food and you didn't cut on an appointment? That's really smart. Sarcasm again. I mean, I want to sell you a Ferrari, but no, you know, Miss Rachel, how about just around the parking lot? No way. If I'm selling you a Ferrari, we're going to 95 and we're going. In the express lane, just to be safe. From here to Miami in 25 minutes. No, just give it to you. Okay? So my point is, know your product and be a professional. And here's the light bulb. You can't sell professional amount sales if you don't have professional presentation. Okay? That means going through your manual. Okay? How about this? Does anyone know what all professionals meaning you get professional pay, have in common amongst musicians, athletes, actresses, besides money? Anyone know? What's a commonality of all professionally paid people, professional athletes that make those $1 million deals, or professional actors? Ready? Light bulb right now. Your brain's all over the wall. They rehearse more than they perform. Right, we just had the MLB All-Star Games in Miami. There's more spring training and non-official baseball games than there are actual season. The NBA, they're practicing more. If you're on tour, I just looked up all these tours, so we're doing some contests in the office. Don't mention that to me, by the way, for my office. We're doing concert tickets for some contests. And I promise you, my last concert was Maroon 5, second row. It was awesome. Maroon 5, Adam Levine and the Maroon 5 band, they practice more than they perform. Why? Because when they perform, what kind of performance are they giving? Professional performance that merits the $150 I paid for my ticket, or the multi-million-dollar deal they just got. Give me a light bulb if that sits with you right now. Right? Yet some of you have gone presentation to presentation. You're kind of winging it and just trying to get better as you do it. Well, imagine who's getting that and what they're getting. Okay, so here I have tables all set up, but you'll see a lot of our alliance members coming in between appointments to rehearse. So I would write down rehearse. It's worth your time to rehearse. In fact, it's so worth your time. Here's another tip. I would put an appointment time to rehearse. Can you put an appointment time in your schedule once a week instead of doing an hour, a 2-hour gap for presentations? What if you put one presentation time, didn't do an actual appointment, but you rehearsed the most important parts of the script and reviewed your presentation? Imagine what kind of presentation you get on the next one. Any light bulbs on that one? Okay. What are the biggest light bulbs? What are you realizing? Go, Chris.
That rehearsal makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and if you're really new, I know you haven't done that much because you've only done 5, 10, 15 appointments at most, okay? So you guys understand this. Cut food, make sure you know your product, research, and rehearse. But you have to get the second part of the equation. You have to get them to like who? You. So how do you get them to like you? It's hard. Some of you, it's not hard because you have what I call it a gift of social skills or gift of connection. You're just used to it. Maybe that's how you're raised and it's your personality. But not everyone's like that. Some people are shy. So how do you get them to like you? You can't just okay, Miss Kelly, like me. Like me now, right? If only it were that easy. Okay? So let me give you a cool technique here. This is cool. Does anyone know the hardest part of the presentation when you're new, within your first 3 weeks?
Building rapport.
Yeah, the start. The start. And actually, the start itself is really not that hard. Even if you're, I would say some people on our team are socially awkward in terms of connecting with adults. That's okay. You're learning that. How many of you feel like you're socially awkward with moms? Okay, I was in the beginning, believe it or not, because they always knew me as the loud, funny, outgoing, but kind of knucklehead friend of their sons. That's usually okay. Maybe not knucklehead, but just kind of crazy out there. But speaking to parents, the hardest part is going from chit chat to now I'm going to sell you something. Raise your hand if you can relate to that. Right? Sometimes it's easy if I'm talking to Miss Kelly, how are you? Or Tia, hi Tia, how's it going? Yeah, okay, good, yeah. Okay, let's get started. All right. Raise your hand if you've ever felt that awkward. Or how about this one? It's my favorite. Let's say I'm showing my favorite neighbors, Javis and Miss Rachel. And I start off, and how many of you have started your presentation, you're looking down, you're reading, and even though they're not saying it, you can see, and you look at peripheral, I guess, right? And you're looking up, and they're not saying anything, but you can see it in their face. They're totally almost judging you, right? Almost as if they're saying, Rachel, what are you doing? What is this job? What the hell are you doing selling knives? Who's ever felt the what the hell are you doing selling knives look from a customer? And I had one customer, does your dad know you're doing this job? Kind of deal, right? And it's kind of awkward, and you get to that, but then eventually what happens when they see Cutco? What happens?
They love the product.
Yeah, but there's that middle gap that kind of stinks. I hate that part. I hate I'm chit-chatting, and then in between it's, because you're reading from your manual. I call it Cutco nerd. You're a Cutco nerd, right? They're giving you the look that makes it seem, oh, honey, they got you, huh? The knife, the Cutco, they got you. So it's almost as if, you got suckered into selling knives. Raise your hand if you've ever felt that either on the call. And see, ready? Number one, I'll speak on my behalf. I can't speak for any of you. I'm no sucker. I was raised really well. I'm a smart kid growing up. And I had great parents. My parents didn't raise a sucker. Okay, I didn't get suckered into any job. But see, it doesn't always come across that way, and that's not the confidence. I knew what I was doing with Cutco. So let me show you what you guys do. What you usually do is, okay, well, thank you so much for taking the time to see my presentation. Really means a lot. Do you mind if I share my goals with you? And you open up and you start reading, and then you get that look. And then eventually it's okay when the Cutco comes out, especially with the penny. They're like, oh, okay, I forget how much you got suckered. Look at these knives. These are great. That's what happens. Versus, let me show you how I open the presentation. It's a lot different, okay? And at the end, give me a light bulb if you like this one. So instead of, thank you so much, really appreciate your help. Okay, can I share my goals? Read the book. So I'll do it like I'm sitting down. Okay, so and everything's been good, Mr. Javis. Work's okay. Good, Miss Rachel. Kids are okay. Good. Well, thank you so much. Let's get started. Actually, I'm so sorry. I forgot. I just want to say thank you. I really want to say thank you. Thanks for taking time to see my presentation. I've been doing all these presentations and making all these phone calls, and you were really nice enough just to see me today. So I really appreciate that. I want to start with that. I'm sorry I started so soon. I'm going to show you a product today called Cutco. So Mr. Javis and Ms. Rachel, you said you've never heard of Cutco before, right? Okay, this stuff is awesome. It's the best kitchen cutlery you can find, stuff for the kitchen. But I want to let you know that I'm not a knife salesperson. Okay, I'm a college student. I go to University of Florida. And the reason I'm working with Cutco is because I want to gain resume experience so that when I become a doctor, I can put this on my resume for med school. And I really want to learn to run my own practice. I don't want to be working with customers or working with, I want to be able to make sure I'm working with people the right way. And I want to be able to run my own business. Okay, so that's why I'm getting started. So I just want to say thanks. Let's get started. Let me talk to you about my Fast Start contest. So let me stop there real quick. Is that different? Give me a light bulb that's different than yours. Eric, go see what. Okay. Why is that different? What did you see there versus what you're doing? Okay. What else?
The transition. Transition to
What's the feeling on that one?
Just emphasize.
Comfortable.
Yes, comfortable. Okay. This is rapport building. So ready? Here's the cool thing. You don't have to be. A lot of times, say, "Oh, that was so smooth." It's not smooth. It's actually a science. I'm going to give you the 5 steps, and you can do exactly what I did in your own words. Okay. So number 1. What's that?
Basic.
Good. Rapport building. Okay. So first of all, open and close the book. Here's the cool thing. From a consumer psychology standpoint, see this blue book? This blue book represents I'm going to try and sell you something today. Doesn't it? Meaning, when you hold this up, this is my sale. This is my demonstration. So when you open the book, it means I'm about to try and sell you something. It means it's business related. So when I started, what did I do? I said, actually, I'm so sorry. What did I do? I closed the book, so I'm turning off business. I even put it to the
side.
Now, physically, I'm just having a conversation with you instead of talking about business. I'll say it again. If this is business, let's get. I'm so sorry. Put business to the side. Now I just want to have a conversation with you. So physically, you're putting the business to the side. Any light bulbs on that one? Okay. Then what's the second thing I did? I thanked them genuinely. Notice there's no script for afterwards because you don't thank them for something scripted. You thank them for something genuine. What did I thank them for? For taking the time, because I had a bunch of people I called, and sometimes I'll say, "Oh, Miss Rachel, thanks for taking the time. This morning I talked to this really nasty woman. She was so mean, and you were the next call, so thank you." Here's why that's so great, because it's not scripted. Where's that coming from? The heart, and it's genuine. Okay. Sometimes I thank them. "Oh, Miss Rachel, thanks for that water. I am parched. Thank you for that sandwich, Uncle Jav. Oh man, I was so hungry. Thank you for always being so fun." And thank them for something genuine. You guys thumbs up if you understand that. Then here's the best part. Then you say, "Mr. Jones, I'm going to show you Cutco today. Have you heard of Cutco?" And here's the cool thing. Their response does not matter. Just like when you ask them for the order, if they say yes or no, that doesn't matter. You know that. You guys know that by now. What matters is this is going to just show them whether you're the college kid that got suckered into the knife job or you choose to be here. Okay? Because if they say yes, watch. This is where you show enthusiasm for the product. So they'll do yes the first time, and then they'll do no the second time. So, Miss Rachel, thank you so much. I really appreciate the time today. I'm going to show you a product called Cutco. Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
You have? Okay, so you know how awesome this is. This is the best ever. I wouldn't even put my name on this if this wasn't the best. Or if they say no. So, Uncle Javis, you guys haven't heard of Cutco?
No, not at all.
Oh, man, I can't wait to show this. This stuff is the best. So right now I'm showing enthusiasm, not I'm reading off the script. I got suckered into selling this stuff for the Cutco company. And then the next part's my favorite. I'm not a knife salesperson. So you're addressing the elephant in the room. Right? Now they're saying, oh, because in my mind I was judging you, knife salesperson. I'm not a knife salesperson. In fact, and then last part, the reason I'm working with Cutco, and then you go into why you're selling Cutco. Notice there's no script. Why? It's genuine. For me, I want to be a doctor. This is going to help me learn how to run a practice privately instead of working for a hospital. And that's why. So now you'll see faces change. You'll see, right? Like all my parents' friends at first that were saying, well, honey, does your dad know? Or why are you doing this job? Or you don't need to work. They would say that. You don't need to work. When I would explain what I was doing for experience, they would say, oh, Kelly, okay, nice job. And then if their son or daughter was still sleeping upstairs, like, hey, you should talk to Mike.
I got that one.
Yeah, I always get that. Okay. You guys see the difference? How many of you feel like that's a lot more comfortable to start? Okay. So let me give you, Chris, here. You're going to practice with me. Just follow the script. So you're going to start. I want you to open the book. And word for word, I want you to start like this. I want you to open the book. Say, let's get started. Close the book and say, I'm so sorry before we do. Go ahead. So Mrs. Jones.
Mrs. Jones, let's get started. I'm so sorry. I want to first thank you for your time. Thank you for coming to see me. I actually spoke to this really nasty lady this morning, and you were so much nicer than her. You were my next
Oh, of course. You know, honey, we love you. We wouldn't be nasty to you. Okay.
Great, thank you. So actually, have you ever heard of Cutco?
No, I know Susie. Susie has them, but I know they're knives.
Great. So then you know how great this stuff is. You're going to love this.
Okay.
So I'm actually not a knife salesperson. I'll just tell you why I'm working with Cutco. So I really want to go to Ohio State and attend the Fisher School of Business. So I'm really building up my resume here. This will really help
Time
me.
out. There's no script. He doesn't have to script this. It's off the top of his head. Why? It's genuine. Give him a round of applause for volunteering. Well, not so much volunteering. You guys see the difference? How many of you feel like that's going to feel a lot better? But what should you do before you do that? You should rehearse this. Okay? Okay. Also, here's something cool. The 4 questions. Actually, wrong one. Hold on.
Also make them laugh.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Okay. We'll come back to the 4 questions. Okay. Here's another way to make sure you get lots of recommendations. Okay, 4 questions. 4 questions. We'll talk about this. Here. Got it. Okay. So when you're meeting with customers, before you ask, so you guys feel good about them and you? Okay. Page 16 is where you ask for the recommendations. You guys learned this in my office yesterday. When should you start page 16? When should you go into the approach of page 16?
Before you're at the
Before cleaning up.
Yeah, right before clean up. As soon as what? As soon as you make a sale, right? As soon as you make a sale. So, Miss Kelly, so that was my manager. So that signature set, that's the one you want to do for the price? Okay, great. How did you like my demo?
That was great.
Okay, great. Actually, there's one more really important part. Go ahead and pull out your cell phone. Here's where you can really help me out. Why do you go right into it?
They don't have
Number 1, so you don't delay. They have more time to what?
Right now.
Number 2, remember, you've been there for 45 minutes. So if you delay, and then they're writing the order, and then you all of a sudden bring it back, what's something that they can say very easily? Oh, miss, honey, we have to go. We have stuff going on. So go right into it. Okay, that's not part of this training. When you go to page 16, actually, if you guys have your manual, pull up page 16. I want to show you something.
Should I go grab mine in the car?
No. Page 16. What's the very first sentence it says on page 16?
Remember the $150 sponsorship I was telling you about earlier?
No, it's from the script.
How'd you like my demo?
Yeah, that's the sponsorship. You're right, Ivan. That's right. I'm talking about the actual script.
How did you like my demo?
Yeah, how'd you like my demo? Okay. Now, I want you to expand on that. Okay, how did you like my demo? Here's what I'd like you to put instead, okay? So keep that. This is the same thing. Don't erase that. How did you like my demo? Well, right after that, I want you to add 3 more questions. Okay, so Mrs. Jones, how did you like my presentation, or how did you like my demo? Right after that, hey, did I do a good job? Let me give you the psychology. So if you're saying, how did you like my demo? Did you enjoy my presentation? You want a verbal yes. Okay. Miss Tia, did you enjoy my presentation today? Oh yeah, honey, it was great. Good. When she says yes, I enjoyed your presentation, I enjoyed your demo, that means later when I recommend friends, they will also what? They will also enjoy the presentation. Oh, Tia, Miss Susan or Tia Chevelli, did I do a good job? This is almost look at me. This is almost did I do a good job because I'm a college student? Oh, Chris, honey, you were great. You always get that mom. Oh, you did so nice job. Okay. Did I do a good job? When they say yes, and remember, they know when I recommend my friends that you will also do what? A good job for them. Big one here. You didn't feel pressured, did you? Did you feel pressured at all? Oh, no, Erica, no, sweetie. It was great. Oh, Mike, that was great, wasn't it? Yeah, we were just so comfortable because when I recommend my friends, they will also not feel what? Pressured. And last one, my favorite one. And you enjoyed the quality of the product? Of course, honey. That's why we got that completer, homemaker, or whatever we got. Great. Well, go ahead and pull out your cell phone. There's one more really important part here so we can really help me out. Because I just got a yes, so it's going to be a good presentation. Yes, you're going to do a good job. Yes, their customers aren't going to feel pressured. Did you enjoy the quality of the product? True story. So like my dad, back in the day, we had, when we were in high school, when we were able to drive, you could drive the nice car, or then there's the Volvo. Volvo was the safe first car that we had to drive when we first started driving, instead of Dad's really awesome tricked out Jeep. Which one did I want to drive? The Jeep. Okay, like the tricked out was awesome. But I know every time, like I started to figure it out. Every time I would ask to drive the Jeep, he would ask me these questions. Hey, how are your grades? Did you help your mom? Are you good to your brothers and sister? He would ask me that, and did you do your chores? Like he would go through this lineup of questions. So I just got smart. Before I asked him, what do you think I told him first?
That you did all.
I told him, hey, Dad, did you see my grades? Yeah, son, nice job. All right. He always used to give these high fives. That's right. And I would say, oh, and Mom, did Mom tell you I helped with so-and-so? He goes, yeah, nice job. Thank you. Oh, and, you know, and I talk about how I helped Chris or Louie with something. Okay. And then I would talk about my grades and all that. And then I would say, oh, by the way, so this weekend, Dad, we got this thing with the car. Can I get the Jeep? And I'll say, yeah. And he would say, nice, you've been so good, kind of deal. So it's just kind of the same thing. Before you ask for a recommendation, stress that, hey, it's going to be a great presentation. I'm going to do a great job. There's no pressure. And the product, as you know, is going to be awesome. So the psychology is to bring out yeses before you ask for recommendations. Any light bulbs there? Yes, a couple? Okay. Okay, ready? That's a light bulb. This is where the brain matter splatters onto the... Let me give you a Jeff Gamboa magical phrase here, and we'll go to break after the recommendations. So let me give you a phrase that I created back when I was a rep, and I got it from one of the conferences. If you're invited to summer conference too, I got it at one of those conferences, and I created and kind of tailored it to myself, and it's just ever since. So here's one of my favorite surefire ways to make sure that I always get recommendations. It's on this step to the sale. Okay, what's the purpose of these 2 pages? To establish what? Credibility of the company. You guys remember this? So you talk about the history of the company, and then you cut the penny rope, penny and heel. What people don't see is down here. It says Direct Selling Association. You guys see that? Okay. So I'll go through and say Mrs. Jones, and we're also manufacturers of K-bar knives, which supports the United States Marine Corps. And Mrs. Jones, you don't have to write this down. Pay attention. We're also a member of the Direct Selling Association. This is a company that monitors ethical practices of U.S. companies. We have an outstanding record with both. So what that means, Mrs. Jones, is that, Ms. Rachel, I can't do door-to-door, and I can't do telemarketing for this job. The only way that I can continue to work towards that scholarship I showed you is if I'm personally recommended to other people. So at the end of the presentation, I'm going to ask you to recommend me to 10, 20, 30 plus people at the end. And if you don't like the presentation or the product, or if you don't like me, I don't want you to recommend me to anyone. But if you do like the presentation, if you do like the product, or if you just really like me, want to help me out, I am going to ask you to recommend me to to other people. I just want to give you a heads up. Okay? Then let me light bulbs. Okay. The number one reason people don't get recommendations is not recommendations. It's not that people don't feel comfortable. The number one reason people don't get recommendations when you're new is because you caught the customers off guard. How many of you have ever experienced this? You do a presentation, okay, the awkward beginning, but the nice stuff was awesome, and the presentation was awesome, and they bought a set, and then you ask for recommendations, and their attitude changed. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. And they gave the, oh, no, we don't do that. Or the, oh, I'm not so comfortable. It went from really positive, Cutco's awesome, to, ooh, now I'm uncomfortable. Raise your hand if you've experienced that. You caught them off guard. Right? And ready? Mom and dads love being caught off guard, don't they? Especially by college students. Sarcasm. So, Mrs. Jones used this phrase. Mrs. Jones, remember of the Better Business Bureau and the Direct Selling Association. These are 2 ethical companies that monitor ethical practices of U.S. companies. We have an outstanding record both. I'm going to give you this word for word, so you don't have to write it down. Okay. Mrs. Jones, so it means I don't do door-to-door telemarketing. The only way that I can continue to work towards a scholarship is if I'm recommended at the end, just like I was recommended to you. So at the end, I'm going to ask you to recommend me to 10, 20, 30 people. If I do a good job, if you like the presentation, if you don't like the presentation, if you don't like the product, or if you don't like me, don't recommend. But if you like the presentation, product, or if you just want to help me out and you like me, then I am going to ask you for 10, 20, 30 plus people. I just want to give you a heads up. Now there's no surprise. Light bulb, yes? Okay. So this is word for word. You're welcome. Okay, I'll read it out loud. Mrs. Jones, and this is where you put it, by the way. If you have your training manual, open up to page 1, please. Open up to page 1 in your training manual if you have it. If not, just make a note. Mrs. Jones, see the K-bar look on page 1, see the K-bar line? And what on page 1 in your training manual? Just kidding, page 2, you're right. Right here. Is it familiar? Okay. Then see that blank space? Some of you have things written in there, don't you? In my office, we don't write anything in there. How many of you have something written in that blank line? Okay, probably charities. What, angel wings? Yeah, okay. That's important, but that's not what I use it for. This is my little secret tip, okay? Right down there, I put down magic phrase. So in that blank, I want you to write down magic phrase. So right there, you just talked, Cutco's involved with many local and national charities. And then you point to this. Also, Mrs. Jones, we're a member of the DSA, which is the Direct Selling Association, I'm just reading it, and the Better Business Bureau. These are 2 organizations that monitor ethical practices of U.S. companies. We have a perfect record with both. What that means, though, is that I can't do door-to-door, I can't do telemarketing. So the only way that I can compete for a scholarship, not to sell, scholarship, is that if I'm personally recommended to people just like I was recommended to you. Time out. How many of you have had a customer that said, oh no, I don't support that kind of stuff? And how the hell are you at their house? You ever think about that?
Yeah.
Oh no, we don't do recommendations. You just did. But see, you caught them off guard. That's why, you just caught them off guard. So Mrs. Jones, what that means at the end of the presentation, I'm going to ask you to recommend me to 10, 20, 30 plus people. If I don't do a good presentation, if you don't like the product, or if you don't like me, I don't want you to recommend me to anyone. But if you do like the presentation, if you really enjoy the product, ready? And I do this. Or if you just really like me, no teeth smile. That's the, how can you not like me smile? Right? So watch, it works. So Miss Rachel, but if you do like the presentation, if you do like the product, or if you just really like me, and I always look off to the side, if you really like me, and it's so funny, they always go, right? What does it also do? It takes the pressure off. Okay, it's light. If you just really like me, then I am going to ask you to recommend me to 10, 20, 30 plus people. I just wanted to give you a heads up. Ready? In a way, it's almost saying, I just wanted to be respectful because you're a Mac customer and I would never catch you off guard because you don't do that to adults. And you'll see the reaction. They'll go, oh, okay. And what's funny is at the end, they'll say, oh, is this where you recommend? Okay, yeah, great. You'll get that more than you do now. Who would like that reaction instead of the, I don't do that, is this where we help you? Is this the, oh, give me that. Okay. Right? Any light bulbs? Yes? Good? Okay, let me give you a few more and then we'll let your brains rest for a second. So let me give you the order of recommendations here. This is important. Okay. So from here on out, we get the 4 questions. All right, get the 4 questions I just gave you. Mrs. Jones, so how did you like my demo? Did I do a good job? Did you enjoy the product? Okay, you didn't feel pressure, did you? Great, you guys know this. I just did it. Here's where you can really help. Go ahead and grab your cell phone. Here's where you can really help me out. I get paid, blah, 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 blah. That's page 16.
I have another tip. If you show them a recommendation sheet that's fully filled out, they'll feel more
I
obligated.
got you. I'm not done yet, player.
Oh,
I got you. You're right. You're right. You watch. So do the approach. That's good. Ready? You do the approach. Then, some of you learned this yesterday. Who knows the hand back? Okay. Who does not know the hand back? Okay, ready? Oh, it's enough from my office. Okay. So whatever they give you. So Miss Rachel's my customer. So she gives me back. Oh, thank you so much, Miss Rachel. Now, actually, can you write down anyone that's not going to buy anything, but they're really nice, and they'll at least help me for the scholarship? Okay, so the key words there. Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much. Now, can you write anyone who won't buy? What does that do? Take away pressure. But they're really what? Nice. And they'll see me for the what?
Scholarship.
Scholarship. Okay, 1 second. Because remember, when customers give you the sheet, who are they writing down for you? In their minds, people that what? People want to buy. They're actually trying to help you. So Kelly, if I give you only 4, what I probably did was, okay, who's going to help this young lady? Who are my friends that are just going to buy everything? And they're trying to help you. But see, they're prejudging. My mom, when I said this, I said, oh, Mom, thanks so much. But now can you write down anyone that won't buy, but they're nice? They'll help me for the scholarship. And she said, you guys remember this? She said, oh, well, you can show all the nurses that I work with. They're all cheap. They're not going to buy anything. Oh, yeah? Everyone bought for about $20,000. But she said what? They're not going to buy. Okay, so add that to your arsenal. Then the next order is the smiley technique. This is my favorite. The smiley technique. That's right. The smiley technique. Did the report come out?
Yep.
That's why. Okay. I could tell. I just got 10 text messages in a row.
You want it now?
I will in a second. Can we get the rec binder,
Yes.
please? So just showing. So the smiley, if you notice on the sheet. Okay. And if you're not from our office, you're more than welcome to. Oh, that's wrong. Can we get rec sheets, please, or am I just?
Underneath TLA things, I think. Are those not rec sheets?
These are Jamaica. Oh, these are.
Those are sheets. There you go.
Gotcha.
I think we got mixed up.
Thank you, sir. So take a look. Okay, if you don't have one that looks like this, you can snag one of these and you can make copies. Okay. If you notice, it's got 20 because how many sponsors is that? 2. Yeah, I always expected to get 2 sponsors every presentation. And notice how many do you have to get a sponsor? 10. There's a smiley here. There's a smiley here. But I would take it to the next level. I would go to the dollar store and get those little tiny cute stickers that teachers would put on the 3rd grade test for getting an A. And I found just really cute stickers. So ready? The cutest, most non-intimidating stickers I could find. Tell me if I did okay with this one. The cute purple whale. Okay. The turtle. I love turtles. I like turtles. You know that one? The cute little fish. Before that, I got this one. Just a bunch of smiley faces. So ready? I did the 4 questions. Did page 16. They gave me 4. Thank you so much. Now, Miss Rachel, can you write down someone who won't buy, but they're really nice, help with the scholarship? Give it back. Now I'm at 8. Remember we talked about $50 everyone? Thanks again, Miss Rachel. Oh, Miss Rachel, thanks for that 8. You're only 2 more from the smiley. How does that sound when you say I'm 2 more from the smiley versus you're only 2 more from the corporate sponsorship?
Whoa.
See the difference? This is you're only 2 more from the smiley. Can you get to the smiley? It's so funny. They go like this. I can get to the smiley. Give me that. Because smiley takes down the pressure. It's the same reason we don't say ultimate. We say complete set. Mrs. Jones, 2 more. Can you just get to the smiley? What if they give you 14? Oh, Miss Erica, thank you so much. You got me the sponsorship. If you get to the next little shark here, little sharky, always add a Y. Sharky, okay? If